Alive.
Oh man, it's my first time online.
Yes,
How you doing,
sir.
brother? How you doing?
Wonderful, brother. How long you been listening in, man?
Man, I've been listening for a minute, man. I mean, a minute. I ain't really got no phone to call in like that, but it's finally nice to get through. I've been listening to a lot of topics y'all been talking about it. A lot of stuff been going on in Chicago, extreme. So it's like I can relate to everything y'all talking about. So much so, it's more like I feel one of the biggest problems is to most people who feel this way. Where do you go to meet people like-minded without having to be ridiculed as far as, okay, well, homosexuals should be put on this type of pedestal as far as when you want to get involved with them? Not like, I believe studs are pedophiles too. They're child molesters too. So I'm not sure. Like,
Now,
I
when
didn't
you
get a chance.
when you say that, explain what you mean when you say studs are pedophiles too.
Females who actually think they're males and try to be like us and try to date women. I believe they're pedophiles as well. My niece is going through a phase at the moment, and I recently found out that she was uh, molested younger, and the girl who got her involved into it ended up crying and breaking down one day and apologizing about how she brought her into it. But I've seen her coming around with much older women who have an interest in her and who've been trying to take care of her and things of that nature. And they put her out to stripping and everything else. So they're just as bad as the men, especially when they have the mindset of a man. So I don't believe any adult who does any type of pedophilic activity should live. I don't think they should live there.
What
I
about
don't think
a child?
See, when they go to jail, they don't get rehabilitated. They just get confined. I think it's more so up to the individual when you're locked up if you want to change what you're doing because you're confined into a spot. So you get to think a lot about what you're doing, especially when you're in there for years. But at the same time, a child is usually, from what I think, is that a child grows up thinking what most people around them either tell them, society tell them, or what the adult might have told them. So it's hard to really place blame on the child for what they're doing if they was molested young themselves or, they were influenced by other kids who might have been molested young themselves to do what they're doing. So I believe there should be some leniency on children. It's hard to say what age range because, not everybody thinks the same. Not everyone is smart heads or, can pick up on something. Sometimes it takes a person a while to finally realize certain things they were doing were out of place.
Now here's my question.
But
Do you have any children?
no.
Okay. Because I was going, well, let's just imagine if you did have a child. Let's say you have a son.
Okay.
We know, brothers, you love your son, and your son is 5 years old. And a 10-year-old, your son comes home and tells you that a 10-year-old boy at school raped him. Are you going? Yeah, I know it's a tough one, bro. And I'm not saying you're supposed to have the right answer. It's a tough question, but this is really happening in our world, so we got to ask these questions.
And that's true. That's the more depressing thing about it. Which brings, it's I want to say you gotta. I guess you would go to the parents if the 10-year-old molested the 5-year-old.
Your son. I ain't talking about if the 10-year-old molested 5. No, that's not the question. Your 5-year-old son,
right,
says, "Daddy, this is what this dude did to me."
The 10-year-old molested him.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's why I would say I would go to the 10-year-old parents first.
Okay.
I would have to know what's going on in that 10-year-old's life now to understand how this 10-year-old got so sexually active or so sexually curious. So I would go directly to the parents first to see what's going on there. If the father doing anything, the mother doing anything, definitely go there first before I take anything out on the child itself because I would have to know what the child was being taught or raised up into learning, before kids only really go off of what you tell them. They learn off of you. So apparently they had to get it from somewhere. So I believe there should be a bit of leniency on the children, especially, at a particular age where they cap off at. Because then again, to be honest, I want to say some 12-year-olds to 14-year-olds still don't know any better. Now, 16 up, that's a bit different. You know, that's high school age. You know, that's a bit different. But grammar school, I believe that children can be saved as long as they're still in grammar school. So high school is a bit different though.
I'm gonna tell you something you really said that I think is extremely mature, brother, and I really appreciate what you're saying. I think that was a real heck of an answer. And again, I'm not saying I can't get out of my personal mind. I don't really care who it is and what. I mean, I don't like the fact I know something happened to him, but like I'm just looking at the criminal as the criminal. But I gotta say, you said something I think is really deep. What I'm hearing you say is, damn it, something going on in that house for this child to be doing that. And I'm going to find out what's going on in that house. And if I find out that you're the cause or whoever is the cause, somebody's going to pay. But I want to find out who made this little boy into the boy that did this to my son. And I want to take care of it on some level where I'm getting closer to the source.
Right, period. And I think that more so that should be a community involvement as well. If it happens to one kid and the parent happens to go to the school, which the school system is not even meant for us, and we all know that, you know, whatever. I believe that the community should then get involved, or what's left of a real community for black people should get involved, but then start to question, you know, what is this parent doing to this child? You know, was it just my kid that, you know, had the situation? Maybe we should talk to other parents and see if other parents have the same situation with the same child. Which we definitely need to go find out what's going on in this child's household to see exactly what was, you know,